Hey, what's happening, guys? Jalamin Tech here with another project. So this is the MacBook Pro early 2015. The model number is A as in Alpha 1502. It's changing the top case, right? So if you have an issue with your keyboard because you had a drop on it, which happens to a lot of people, a liquid drop, and you want to change the keyboard, trust me, it's a lot easier to get the whole top case. Try to find the original, one without a knockoff or off-brand battery. It usually comes with the whole thing. You can buy them for like under 60 bucks on eBay, right? So you get the whole top case that comes with the keyboard, all right? And then what you need to do is then just swap the system board, the motherboard and the system board over here, switch them over to that one, and you're good to go. It's a lot easier, trust me, because if you have to remove your keyboard, which is like right there, it has zillions of screws on it to take out. And it's a pain in the you know what to take out, right? So it's a lot easier if you just get yourself the whole top case to replace it and then just switch the motherboard out. Now, few things that you need in hand to get this going. You need a plastic pry tool. This is very important and I cannot emphasize this. I don't have a one suitable for laptops, so I sort of made this one myself and it works great like a charm. But yeah, you need a plastic pry tool. You don't need a metal pry like one of these guys, because what will happen is you will end up piercing some of these cables, because you can see how thin they are, right? They're very, very thin. So if you're not careful, you're gonna just break them if you use a metal prying tool. So prying tools are really cheap, you can find them, but please do not go into this without getting a prying tool first. Very important, right? And then what you need to do, there's a couple parts to this. If your top case came with the speakers, then you don't need to take that out, but a lot of times maybe it will not. So if you need to, then what you will need to do is take the speaker bolts out right here and there, and there and there. I mean the screws, not the bolts. And then the speaker connector is right there. Now you would think that this right here is just pulling backwards. Actually is prying up. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It pries up off of this joint right here. So it's prying up, very important. And that's what the other one looks like. I already pried mine up, right? So just be careful. Another thing you need is patience. You need to be very patient because these are very delicate systems here. So if you're not careful or you're in a rush, you're gonna break it. Give yourself 2 hours, depending on how fast you work, but at least 2 hours to work on this, right? Get yourself some Turk screws. I got mine a nice set off of eBay. If you all need links to this, links to this to buy them, just let me know in the comments below and I'll add the links for you to buy them. They're very cheap and very useful. It comes with this set right here, really nice and handy. You're gonna be working mostly with the T5. But you might use the T4 and the T3 as well. And this is part of it as well, and it's a really nice pouch. Okay, another thing I want to emphasize is if you're taking out this guys right here, be careful, don't pull them with the wire because they can easily break. Try to pull them with the metal parts of it, right? So pry them with the metal parts of it with what? A plastic prying tool. I cannot overemphasize that. And then just go around the motherboard, right? And look at things that you need to pull. The main ones, this right here, that's the one of the keyboard cables, right? So you need to pry that out. I think that's the backlight. And then there's the power cable for the display cable, I mean. So you need to pry that out. To pry that out, it has a little plastic thing. You lift that up and then pull it out. So that's easy to pull out. Another thing you need to pull out is this right here, also part of the keyboard. This is a very sensitive and delicate one, I'm sorry, right there. So it has a little plastic piece to it that will probably be glued. So you just lift that up and then pull it backwards. All right. Before you do all of this, guys, let's just back up for a second. You want to go ahead and pull out your battery cable. So you want to disconnect power to the motherboard because you don't want any electric circuit and anything like that. That's the last thing you want because you might just fry your motherboard. So that's important, right? There's a few screws here. Just follow this gold circles right there. Those are the screws. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 right there, 5, right? So that's 5 screws you need to that bolted the motherboard onto the top case. So you need to take those out. You don't need to take the heat sink out. It's not necessary. You need to take 1 screw up here. Okay, so you take that out, and 1 screw off of the fan because the fan is bolted to the motherboard, and if you just lift it up, it will come out. You will also need to take out the keyboard cable, which is right here. Okay, so again, it's like a plastic glued on the motherboard. You just pull that out and then you pull it backwards. Okay, and then you will need to pry this up. These are easy ones. You can just pry that up. That's for the trackpad. Okay, you need to pry that out. And then you pry this one out as well. This is connected to that, so you pry that out. All right, so just that, guys, just sort of like take your time, go over everything that is not connected. Is common sense, really. Anything that's not connected to the motherboard or the system board or the logic board, they're all really the same thing. Pry it out gently with a plastic pry tool. And this right here is your MagSafe connector. So that is sort of connected only to the logic board by a wire. Now, instead of taking that wire out, you can pry that if you want, but if you're moving this whole unit into a new back case or top case, it's just best to just leave it on it and just take out the 2 screws that hold it onto the old case. All right, so once you get all that done, you just slightly, gently pull this out, and that's your motherboard right there, and basically just connect it into the other side. And then basically all you need to do is just the reverse of everything that you've done here. All right, so once again, some of the cables that you need to take out is this right here. This guy, you don't pull up because you're gonna break the tips, you push backwards. This guy right here, you pull up, you pry with a plastic pry tool. This right here, the display cable, has a little handle to it, so they made that easy for you. You just lift it with the tape and then pull it backwards. That's how that comes out. This guy right here, let me see if the camera can show you so little, is covered with a tape. Lift the tape up. If you're not careful, you're gonna miss it, and try to yank the motherboard, and you're gonna break it. Don't yank. You shouldn't yank anything out anyway. If there's any resistance, take your time and look at what is holding it back. Once you pull that, and then that's pulling back. So I'm just showing you the methods of taking this out, because some of them, just looking at it, you cannot tell how it comes out. For example, this guy right here, right? So this actually lifts up. It doesn't push backwards, but it looks like it pushes backwards, right? The speaker cable, that's what got me more, and that one you have to be careful with. It doesn't push backwards, it lifts up, so you have to pry it. But when you look at the top, it looks like you just push this side backwards, and if you do that, you're gonna break it. So don't do that. All right, so just be careful with stuff like that. And this guy's right here, another tricky part. The heat sink is connected to this with a Phillips screw, but then on the screw itself has a Torx screw onto it to take out the daughter board. All right, so tricky. Be careful with that. So once you take it out, don't yank it. Again, you shouldn't be yanking anything out. So once you take this guy out, right, I think it's a T7 screwdriver. So once you take that out, or T7 bit, I mean, you can just take it out. All right, so be careful. All right, guys, I hope this video is helpful. Again, patience is the key here. And if it is, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos to come. All right, peace out.